On this special episode of Supercars Talk, I take you through the build of the new set. As you'll see in the video, I had a bit of fun putting all this together. There should be some time-lapse videos. I hope they came out okay. I had a couple of health issues during it. You'll see me wearing some safety goggles and gloves and things like that. I think it was probably the first day of properly working out here. The wind was quite strong, and as I was packing up, I got a splinter in my eye. That didn't get any better. I ended up at the doctor's. It was pretty easy. They just had to, it was in the top of the eyelid. They had to flip the eyelid over and pull it out. And there was some instant relief when that happened. That was a bit of fun. And I also put the drill through my thumb a little bit. Probably can't see it on the camera there. There's a little bit of damage there. And just a stupid thing I did in the kitchen. And I cut my finger pretty bad with a knife. Maybe it should have been stitched. Seems to be healing pretty good, so can't complain too much. But anyway, here's the build of the shed. So, seeing as though I've got a couple of weeks off over Christmas, I've decided to update the studio a bit. As I said in, I think it was my last video, I finally got electricity in the shed. So as you can see, we have a light up there. I've got some electricity over there on the backing board. I'm not sure if you can see. I've got a PowerPoint in there too. Got some USBs on that one, and the light switch and some power up there. So the plan is that's kind of the start of what I'm doing. I've got some timber up there, and I'm just running some timber across there. It's going to go up over the walls and down the other side to that part. Probably looks familiar to you, where I do some filming. And then I've got a little special project there that I'm going to put up on the wall. Got some insulation ready to go, and that's the rest of the timber for the job. Seeing as though it's a Sunday morning, and I slept for a full day because I had a nice gastro over Christmas. So I'm up really early. So out here, not sure how that's going on the filming, whether that makes you dizzy or not. I'm going to cut some of this timber by hand. So I won't bother filming that because it'll take forever. But that's a bit of a rundown of what's happening at the moment. As you can see, the shed is an absolute total mess at the moment. Got some Christmas stuff in here, and just trying to get everything organised, I suppose. Part of the reason why no videos over Christmas as well. So I'll probably put in one of those, time-lapse videos showing some stuff happening after this. So I'm up to what I'm going to call day 4 of working out here. Kind of missed a few days, and there's a few days of prep work that kind of not really counting. I got a couple of hours out here last night. It was all a bit fiddly stuff, so I didn't bother trying to do the time lapse, which you've probably just seen. I kind of buggered up the time lapse on that first lot, so it's not so good. But this is where we're at the moment. I've got the picture in, and obviously there's a bit of fiddling around doing kind of the cutouts kind of down there around the shelf, and doing these little bits down the side, a bit of a cutout. I've got that main shelf all back in and screwed. As well, if you kind of see down there, I've got some of the sound insulation in there, and that's my what do you kind of call it, air conditioning that was happening yesterday because it was quite warm. So that's where we're at the moment. I got a couple of hours in last night, and I'll get a few more hours in today. Just trying to fit it in around kind of family commitments and having to go down and visit my parents and things like that. Yeah, I had a nice bout of gastro over Christmas, so that was fun, which kind of knocked us out a bit. But at this rate, should kind of have it ready to start filming episodes again next week. So here's another time lapse, and hopefully I'll get this one right this time. So I'm going to count this as day 6 of working out here on my kind of vague counting scale. As you can kind of see, if we look around, I ended up getting a fair bit done over, well, yesterday. I kind of finished off a lot, not much on that side. It was a bit more the roof. I've got one strip to do up the middle, which has to be trimmed down a little bit because it's not quite wide enough. And that wall's kind of started, a little bit to go down there. The Melbourne weather doesn't look too bad through the lens there, so it probably looks all right. You can probably see the grey sky there. Yeah, it's supposed to be summer here, but seeing as though there's bushfires everywhere right now, I'm not complaining too much about a bit of rain. Made a fair bit of mess out here, but I've got supplies there to finish everything off. And might have made you dizzy flicking that around like that, but yeah, so just kind of finishing off today. Should have the shelving back up and kind of tidying everything up, so be able to do some proper filming out here, and might get a haircut in the next couple of days. And yeah, this is, as I might have said before, this is why I put product in it, because this is what happens when I don't. So time for a montage. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, the finished product. So here it is. You can see it goes from the floor all the way up, over the roof and back down. Special features, now I've got my lighting for filming screwed up to the roof there, so they're nice and out of the way instead of having to have them on a tripod all the time. Like the camera gear there. I've got my picture of one of my favourite wins at Bathurst there, the first for HRT. That was a great day. That's been printed by a good friend of mine at Melbourne Safety Glass. If you want something like this, give me a call. I might be able to help you out. I'll get you in contact with him. It is printed on glass. It came up really well. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, got the shelf in there. Bikes are back in place in their spot. Think I might put a little bit of wall decoration up at some point. I've got some old number plates and things like that to go on there. And on the back, I got my new 2020 Supercars calendar, so I'll put that up on the back there. I'll put some cutouts from the 2019 one up on the back there, just add a bit of colour, something a bit better to look at maybe, instead of, you know, my happy face the whole time. And then that's kind of the shed part around there. There's the stuff that's got to find itself in the bin at some point, and some gardening stuff and some other bits and pieces. So it's quite nice to be back in here with it being a bit organised. It's been a bit disorganised for the last couple of months since I started, you know, waiting to get the electricity in here and everything. But I'm pretty happy with how it's come up. Just losing my balance there. I shouldn't try and walk around while I'm looking at the camera, should I? Yeah, so quite happy with how it's turned out. We'll see how we go. It's insulated and stuff in here. It's hard to tell today because the temperature's not there. But the other day, you could really, when you're working up the top, you could really feel the difference in the heat between, you know, parts where I'd already put the insulation in and the parts that hadn't. And hopefully it helps with a little bit of sound deadening for the videos. So yeah, that's a recap of what I've been doing. Hope you enjoyed the build video, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Put away your inhibitions, let the beast in you just get loose. We all young, wild and different. We can all get lit from a little goose. I know you're terrified, but